Joy Smith is our marketing analyst this week. With 100% of its corn emerged and 99% of its soybean planted, Nebraska is well ahead of the national averages. The latest USDA crop progress report shows U.S. soybean planting is tied for the third slowest since 1995. Only Michigan is finished with its soybean crop, and Iowa has only put in 3/4 of its beans. When we talked Wednesday afternoon, I asked Roy for his opinion on how delayed planting could affect corn and soybean markets.
My experience in 40-some years of farming is that cold weather and excess moisture during planting time very rarely has a lasting effect on the markets. It'll have some effect when it's going on. We saw that for instance, in 1984, but usually by the time we get to the middle or late summer, the market has discounted all of that, and so it probably, if we get a big rally anytime during this time period or prior, it's a good time to be making some sales.
Give me an update on what you've done here on your farm for corn and beans.
Right now, as of middle of June, I'm sold out of everything. I sold the last little bit of gambling corn this week, and about a month ago sold out of my soybeans that I had in commercial storage. So my general rule of thumb is I don't want to own any grain going into the 4th of July weekend, and that's just a few days ahead here. And with the strong markets we've had this week, I just thought it was a good chance to get that done.
We saw a supply and demand report come out last week, and we'll see another report in a week here. But what are you seeing on the charts today? As we talk on Wednesday afternoon, it was a strong close for corn and beans, but what are the charts indicating to you?
It was a really good day on Wednesday for corn and beans both, and we've got some gaps on the price charts above the market where the market closed last Wednesday, and so I look at those gaps as kind of a benchmark or kind of a ladder. If you haven't got anything sold, where that gap is, where there wasn't any trading back in February, that would be a good time to put some orders in and hope that you can get some sales made. Especially if you're going to go to the elevator at harvest time with it. If you got plenty of storage at home and you don't mind taking the risk, we still have an awfully wide basis for new crops. So, I guess I would be inclined under those conditions to be very conservative in my sales.
Just a little bit further, how good is basis here?
The basis right now is just dynamite. It's as good as it's ever been, and it seems to be holding there, and that's a sign that tightness of supply in the old crop. It's this basis thing is hard to gauge because we saw the elevators this last week change their bids from August futures to November futures, and then also in corn and beans both, actually we saw jumping around of the bid based on what contract they're using, and of course there's a wide disparity in the price between July and August, or between July and November, and so when you see that, then you have to plug that into your formula, and it makes the calculations really difficult.
We have a few big reports coming out next week, not only on planted acres where we might see a shift. I think the popular opinion is that we'll see a shift in both downward, but also in grain stocks. Do you have any advice on what to do leading up to maybe after the report as well?
I guess, my feeling is that whatever you're going to do, you need to do it before the report comes out. Those reports have a tendency to be bearish and to be depressing to the market for a while. Now the last report that came out was bearish for a few days, and then we saw the market on Wednesday of this week, like we talked, it jumped 20 cents on corn, and so the market ignored that report after a few days and started bidding on what the market thinks the supply is going to be, and right now the supply is very tight and will be until the new crop becomes available.